Full commentary. 1. d4 e6. White begins with a solid opening, gaining central control. Black responds flexibly, possibly aiming for a French defense setup. 2. c4 qf6. Black develops the queen early, which is unusual. While it attacks the d4 pawn, it also risks early harassment. 3. e4 bb4 plus. White occupies the center with pawns. Black develops the bishop aggressively with a check, but this may not justify the queen's precarious position. 4. nc3 e7. White develops a knight to block the check. Black moves the knight, but this passive development leaves the kingside underprepared. 5. e5 qg6. White pushes the central pawn, gaining space and forcing the queen to retreat. Black's queen remains vulnerable and inactive. bd2 c6 star. White develops the bishop to prepare for queenside coordination. Black's pawn move looks to strike at the center, but comes too late. d5 cx d5, 8 cx d5 ex d5, 9 and b5. White aggressively activates the knight, aiming at the c7 square. Black's position becomes increasingly cramped. 9 qe4 plus 10 bx d2 plus 11 qx d2 qx e5. Black temporarily gains material, but exposes the queen further. White has a lead in development, with Black's king still stuck in the center. 12 rc1 nbc6. White places the rook on the c-file, targeting the uncastled king. Black develops but remains under significant pressure. 13 f4 qb8, 14 ned4 a6, 15 nx bx c6, 16 nd forza. White methodically builds an attack, targeting weaknesses in Black's structure. Black's pawn moves open more lines for White's attack. 16 17 bd3 re8, 18 qd6. Both sides complete development. White's pieces are ideally placed for an offensive, while Black remains on the defensive. 19 rc1 bb7, qf2 c5, 21 qh4 g6. White centralizes rooks and begins a kingside attack. Black tries to hold with pawn moves but creates more weaknesses. 22 nf3 c4, 23 ng h5. White's knight jumps into the attack, threatening decisive sacrifices. Black's pawn moves are a desperate attempt to fend off the attack. 24 bc2 qb6 plus 25 rf2 d4, 26 g4 nf5 to shear. White continues the assault, opening lines against Black's king. Black's knight jumps to f5 to temporarily block the attack. 27 rxe8 plus rxe8, 28 qh3 ng7, 29 gxh5 gxh5. White sacrifices material for a strong attack. Black's king is entirely exposed and White's pieces dominate. 30 qx d7 rf8, 31 bh7 plus kh8, 32 re2 d3 plus 33. Black attempts to counterattack with passed pawns, but White's control over the board makes the threats manageable. 34 qx d2 f6, 35 kf1 fx g5, 36 bg6 rxf4, 37 rxf4 gxf4, 38. White sacrifices the rook to simplify the position and maintains a decisive material advantage. Black's counterplay evaporates. 39 qh6 plus kg8, 40 qh7 plus kf8, 41 qh8 plus ke7, 42 qxg7 plus kd6. The white queen takes over, pushing Black's king into a losing endgame. 43 qxb7 qf6 plus 44 ke2 qe6 plus 45 kd2 c3 plus 46 kxe3 qe3 plus 47 kb4 qc5 plus. White's king walks up the board to sort the pawns, demonstrating full control. 48 kb3 a5, 49 qa6 plus kd5, 50 bf7 plus kd4 and star. White brings the bishop into the attack. Black's king has no safe haven. 51 qf6 plus qe5, 52 kxe5 plus kxe5. The queens are traded, but White's extra pawns in better king position make the endgame trivial to win. 53 kc4 h4, 54 a4 a4 kf4, 55 bd5 h56 b4 ax b4, 57 a5 b3. White marches pawns forward, using the king for support. Black's attempts to create counterplay fail. 58 kxb3 ke5, 59 a6 kxd5, 60 a7 ke5, 16 a8 q. White queens the pawn, sealing the victory. 62 qb8 plus ke4, 4 63 kc4 kf3, 64 qgaf2, 65 kd3 kf3, 66 kd4 kf4, 67 qg3 plus kf5, 68 qe5 plus k4, 69 ke4 kh4, 70 qg3 plus kh5, 71 kf5 kh6, 72. Stunning finish. White checkmates